All right, and then let me grab the intro. This is episode 526. Let's go. What's up, everyone? This is Press X Start Podcast Season 5, Episode 26. Press X Start Podcast is an audio and video podcast seeking to transform the video game media landscape through an underserved and protected point of view. I'm looking at you, listener. Restorative justice for the underrepresented programmers, developers, and consumers. I am your host for today, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka not Marcus, who is eating shrimp right now, aka Did You Know? Speaking of Marcus, our bad boy is over on the West Coast doing big things, eating big shrimp. I'm proud of you, boy.
Shrimp.
Is that a euphemism?
No. This is completely straight up. He's over there doing big things. And we at Press X are proud of him.
If it is a euphemism, it is a euphemism for success.
The only euphemism I know is that chick from Final Fantasy.
I am Sean MF Ross.
What the MF stand for?
I still don't say it.
Next up.
And it's your boy Jordan, aka JX Spot, aka El Presidente.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay. I see.
You'll see in a second.
Rounding the cast.
I'm Avery Williams, and I've given up on trying to get away with it. It's never going to happen.
Oh, no.
Never make it.
I had to give up. It's just not going to happen. I'm just going to continue to live my life and play video games, I guess. So let's move
You had
forward.
You had a good run.
Did I?
With that being said, and us being introduced, as I said, this is Press X to start. Before we start, though, we have some housekeeping. Don't forget to join Don't forget to join us as we are donating to the Palestine charity drive. Still, go to pressx2start.com/Palestine to donate. Also, after you do that, make sure you check out our Black Widow review, available as a podcast and video form on our YouTube channel, of course. Okay, with that being said, now we can talk about the games we played. So, Sean, games you play?
I haven't played much. All of this is old, but I was playing A Plague Tale: Innocence, and I think I'm at the final battle. However, with many games and their final battle woes, I keep on failing at this.
What?
And
without revealing much, does the final battle involve the Pope?
Yes.
Okay, then
Or
yes,
the white rats.
Yes, then you were at the final battle.
And my wife came in like halfway through me playing the game, and now she's invested. And with final battle woes, I kept on failing, and she's like, "No, you just need to take a break because you keep on messing up."
Dude,
and
that final battle is hard. Like it is hard.
So I keep on messing up. She's like, "You just need to take a break from the game." Or you
Say
think
white rats?
There are two variations of rats in this game. There are the typical normal black rats, and then there's alchemically treated white rats that can only be controlled by a specific person.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That made
Just
more
play
sense.
the game. Trust me.
Appreciate it. How long is the game?
Under 15 hours, depending.
Yeah, I think it's around. I think I have the platinum, so I think it's somewhere between 10 to 13 or something.
Okay.
Depending on everything you're trying to go through. I just know for a fact it's under 15.
Yeah.
Depending on how hard you go at the game. But she forced me to take a break from that, so I haven't played it again since like a couple days. My cousin bought Anthem for some goddamn reason.
Hey,
because it was on sale for $3, and he's like, "Hey,
$3 and not 3 cents."
Best $3 you're gonna spend in your life.
And I'm like, why would you?
Totally.
I was like, you would have been better off just buying Outriders, and I don't even like that game.
Oh, punching down.
Hey, you can only punch down if it's actually down, Jordan.
Hey, Outriders learn from Anthem's mistakes.
I thought so.
Outriders learn from Anthem's mistakes.
So it's funny. He just swears he's wrecking the game, but I mean, he's like level 6, 7. I'm at max level 30. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm crushing shit." Like, no, that's actually me knocking shit out in 2 hits. because I'm playing as the level 30 Storm, which was the magic user or whatever. So I'm just raining down lightning
Stormbringer.
bolts in this. But yeah, so
The servers of that game are still up.
I was surprised. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
I said, you have people to play with? He was like, yeah, there are people on. I'm like,
I
All right,
will
I
I
mean-
will tell you, as a person that follows
Yeah.
the Anthem subreddit, that has a very thriving and upset community. And like they track when the servers go down and go back up, and it's just like, yeah,
Person.
this game. I remember I used to love this game. Huh, cool guys.
so
Keep it
yeah, I
up.
mean, I guess other people saw that $3 sale and was like, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do
And
it.
going back, the flying was cool, but I forgot how slow it feels.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only way that it works is the speed at which you're flying isn't necessarily fast. It's everything else just kind of revolves around that speed, so it makes it seem like you're doing a lot of stuff. You're just not going very fast.
Yeah. Ugh. But other than that, I also jumped back into Haven. I bought this game when it came out back in December, and it's a co-op game that you can play with your mate because the setting of the game is, two lovers that got stranded on a planet and they're trying to find resources to find their way off. Unfortunately, playing with two people is strange because you're forced to follow one another, so you cannot split. They pretty much just hold hands and glide around the landscape, cleaning up and gathering things. And
They can't split at all?
no,
That's a
no,
clingy relationship, guy.
they fight. I mean, you're the only. It's a buddy system. It's a buddy system. They're on a strange planet, and they're keeping together. But that's difficult to control because it's like who's driving the ship. Y'all will be fighting control.
Right.
No matter, you can equally take control of the characters. It's hard to explain.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it is like you have to convince the other person, hey, let's go this way. For y'all both.
Yeah,
to
or
go.
y'all will just be fighting and going in a straight line, or like
Yeah.
kind of jerky, whatever. But I don't know. You can play it by yourself though.
Yeah. Okay.
And when it comes to combat, you're just controlling one person with the left side of the controller. The other person, because you don't move around in combat. You pretty much just hold the button to charge up a hit or an energy blast, or
Okay.
shield yourself, or pacify the animals. But I picked it up to play by myself, and it's getting interesting.
Okay.
Apparently, they're on a planet that was thought to never be inhabited, but it was actually colonized as they're finding out, and it's just wild shit going on in the game.
Huh.
And it is very PG-13, almost rated R, because
There's nudity.
they're very suggestive jokes. I mean, it's like I said, two lovers on a planet by themselves. Some of the cutscenes show them, topless or about to have sex.
They show the men topless.
Yeah, I mean, like you see some side boob for the lady, but it's kind of like covered by her arm barely. But it's still
Okay.
like, all right, this ain't quite for children, But I'm playing that. I'm trying to get through that until I can finish up Plague's Tale, and then I may go back to playing something else. I don't know.
Okay. Well, you have stars on the list. What is that?
That was Anthem because I didn't want to reveal it. I was ashamed.
Let me just change this back to Anthem because it should be known that it was Anthem that you
In
played.
caps, DJ. All right.
All right, Jordan, what you playing?
I've been
Everything.
playing Blood Roots, which it is this indie game that came out February last year on Windows, PC, and Nintendo, and it was recently released on Game Pass. I had no clue what this game was, and it just was on. It was featured on the main menu section, and thoroughly enjoying it. If I were to summarize it into as few adjectives as possible, it would be a top-down action brawler puzzle game to which each area that you're dropped in, you have a finite amount of resources or things to use as weapons, and a certain amount of enemies. So,
I remember this game. Yeah,
it's
this is really cool.
it's that game.
Yeah.
and I'm loving it. It is very action packed. It has a Samurai Jack style visual aesthetic and pretty gory, but comical too.
Right.
So I'm just playing through that right now. I also picked up this game for Game Pass for the PC, Tropico 6. And if you're familiar with the Tropico series, it's like basically City Skylines or Sim City, but with a satire attached to it, a bit of a parody off of dictatorship in South America and Caribbean islands. So essentially,
So Far Cry 6 Manager Edition.
No, close though. Not a bad analogy. I give you that, but it's basically SimCity if you had politics involved with it, because SimCity was not involved in any politics. The taxing and income system in those games were unrealistic, is the best way I can put it, and like you weren't really worried about approval in that regard. But in this game, you are. So you being a ruler of this island, you have your populace that have specific objectives and goals that you need to be cognizant of. Some populations are capitalistic. Others have a more communist ideology. Others have a religious ideology, and others have a militarized ideology. And your goal at the beginning is to succeed from the monarch that currently controls your island, like have a revolution. After that, every 10 years, you face re-election. And additionally, there's a world economy out there to which goes to World War One, goes to World War Two, the Cold War, and modern age. And it's hilarious, to be honest, because...
Wait, question. Mm-hmm. Is it game over if you lose your election?
Exactly. Every 10 years. Okay. Every 10 years. Okay. If you lose, they want to drag you out your palace and kill you on the street. Might happen. Never know. So,
and how long does the years go? How long does it take to get to 10 years?
If you were to put it on the fullest speed, you can get to 10 years in about like half an hour, I guess. Okay. But like on normal speed, like it's quite a bit amount of time.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not like but of course you can adjust the settings to which the frequency of your elections and stuff like that. But right now I have for 10 years.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I've this is the 6th one, and I've always looked at this strategy series suspiciously. So I wasn't truly convinced about it, but now I'm enjoying it. This is a fun game. It's a tongue-in-cheek humor style game.
Yeah,
which I enjoy.
Okay.
And also, what's also early access is Animal Royale, which is like a battle royale top down with animals. So it's all of what a battle royale is, except for like the war zone or all those other third person battle royales out there. Yeah. This is a top down battle royale, which I think is fairly accessible because it's more forgiving than the war zones. So like you're basically in like an animal, like the cutest creature ever, dropped into a space trying to get your samurai swords, your shotguns, your sniper rifles, and fight your way to the center, or fight your way to be the last one.
The game art for this is disturbing for how cute the animals are, but then this one has looks like an M1 Grand, and the other one has like a grenade, and then there's a little bear that's parachuting in with an umbrella.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Yeah, I get it. Oh, it's on the Nintendo Switch as well.
Yes. Yeah. I'm playing it. It's available through Game Pass on Xbox. Yeah. I don't know if it's available through Game Pass on Game Pass PC. I'll look at that later. But the final one is Lonely Mountains Downhill.
We talked about this on the chat, right?
No. Okay. But like it is a BMX. So like the last week I talked about Descenders. I've beaten that game Descenders. This is essentially Descenders, but different. Like it's a kind of like a glass box perspective.
Yeah.
To which you're looking at the rider and controlling them down the hill, which can be disorienting if you're not careful. And you're just trying to get downhill as fast as possible. It has there's no soundtrack to it, so I just have my Spotify playing like some acoustic guitar to bring some life to it. But visually, it is nice. It is a beautiful game, and therapeutic in some ways because I play it after work and
I like the art style.
But yes, that's what I have been playing.
Okay. So Avery, you haven't been playing anything?
Nope,
just
working my way through Mass Effect again.
Okay. And I, of course, been playing Gundam. I'll be talking more about Gundam later in the quick hits, actually. Other than that, I played WWE Battlegrounds. Sean played it last week. I decided to play it this week, and I can report, not really worth the time. Not really worth the time.
The game,
Yeah.
there was a game like WWE Battlegrounds that came out back on the Wii a long time ago called WWE All-Stars, which had like
Okay.
cartoony, bulky, exaggerated
Right,
designs of
yeah.
the wrestlers, which was very well rated. So I wonder if they were borrowing from that game to make this one, which came out 2 years ago. Battlegrounds.
That maybe I don't remember how long ago it was, but overall the game is a fine game. I think my problem is I was expecting more from a production standpoint. So like the story is very much a comic book style where it just shows panel, and then you go and you fight a person, and that kind of caught me off guard because I was expecting, like, you have these characters, you animate the characters, but there's, as far as I know, there's no like voice lines from the characters, so they just got the likenesses. Yeah, it's in terms of the gameplay, it's fine. It's not anything revolutionary. It's not amazing. Um, there's a lot of things you can do in the game, and a lot of the game revolves around a counter system, and that counter system doesn't feel good for me. It feels like, because there's definitely a rhythm to the game because everything's on the kind of like an input delay, and the counter system works off of the input delay. So, or it works off the input delay and works off the rhythm. So you go to counter someone, you have to press the button to anticipate what they're going to do, and then the same thing for when you get picked up off the ground. You can counter their grab by pressing a certain button, but you don't necessarily know what they're going to do. There's no hints of what they're going to do to press the button to hopefully counter what they're going to do. You just have to guess. At the end, it's not great. It's already off my PS5, so.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't spend any money off of it, so I just wasted my time. That's all.
But you still redeem it. You can download it again anytime, right?
Yeah.
Jones
It's part of my library, so I can get it whenever I want, which I won't. And that's been what we have been playing. So before we go into a quick hits, we have a word from our sponsors. Rice. Yes.
A San Francisco treat?
Sponsors, Rice. And with that, we are back. You're probably wondering why I'm laughing. You'll never know. You'll never know.
Yeah. It's over.
With that being said, it is time for the quick hits. All right. Number one. Oh, DJ, take it away. We'll do DJ. Thanks. Number one. This comes from VentureBeat / GamesBeat because I never know which is which. June 2021 NPD numbers are in, and Xbox and Switch are outselling the competition, which is PlayStation. I'm not sure why they didn't say PlayStation, because like, who else do they compete with? PC? Like, they're not.
I mean, if you're able to produce more Xboxes than you are PlayStations, then yes, you will outsell the competition. Yeah, if you made 10 Xboxes and 5 PS5s.
Well, in terms of supply, there's only estimates to how many consoles are out there for both companies. But what people are trying to see is whether or not the June showcase had any type of impact on it, or is Xbox's production also ramping up? So like there might be some fluctuations in the coming months in terms of, which is leading, but both consoles are in fact selling out. Like there's still consumer interest for
the
both consoles.
The current numbers as they stand for the actual sales numbers that we know of both the Series X and the PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 is around 7.8 million right now, and the Series X is about 3.5 million.
That's number of sales, right?
Yeah.
Not number of
total.
Okay. Cool. So these numbers comes from the NPT analyst Matt Piscatella. And these are just quotes taken from him in his conversation with was it Jeff Grubb? I think it's Jeff Grubb. Yeah. So June dollar sales of Xbox consoles set a new record for the Xbox platform, besting the previous high set in June 2011.
Which is the 360 era, which is a full generation behind, like before.
Yeah. Nintendo Switch is the best-selling hardware platform during 2021's first half of both dollar and unit sales. So that's not surprising because everyone wants a Switch.
And they've released multiple models at this point.
Yeah. And then the last up is PS5 remains the fastest unit-selling console hardware platform in U.S. history for lifetime sales through 8 months on the marketing, excluding portables. God dang, that was a sentence. So yeah, basically PS5s, once I guess they have the least amount of time on the available to qualify it as fastest selling or fastest unit selling console or something. I don't know. That one has always been weird to me because it's just like, what?
I think the metrics. Okay. I think the metrics they're trying to say is that if we compare both the PS5 and then everything else in Sony's library, the PS5, the amount of growth that the PS5 has had is higher than what they had.
Okay.
So, like in a 1 month period, the PS5 sold 1 million units, while in the 1 month period, the PS4 sold 1.9 million units. If that makes sense.
Right. Okay. I get what that means. I get what you mean. So cool. Good on them. They're selling consoles and people are buying them. So
everyone to at least.
Yeah.
Everything I can extrapolate from this is that everybody is on their current track and being successful on that track.
Exactly. Number 2. Speaking of successful, there are some delays. I just kind of grouped this all together. What?
Porky Pig. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there are some delays. I just grouped this all together because it was easier just to do that. So Rainbow Six Extraction is delayed until January 2022. Riders Republic is delayed until October 28 of this year, not next year because that would be ridiculous. And Ghostwire Tokyo is delayed to early 2022. Even though we haven't seen anything of that, apparently development's not going great.
Yeah. Me trying to do console release math, I pegged that Ghostwire we weren't going to see this year.
Yeah. Number 3. This comes from Widow Central because I misspelled Windows.
Oh, you're just taking L's all day right now, DJ.
If you can laugh about it, then it's okay. PS5 exclusive Deathloop will hit Xbox after September. No, will hit Xbox, why is it after? Anyways, it's coming next year, September 14th. Like, that's a weird title. Let's come on, Widows Central. What are you doing?
It'll be available to be released after that date, not necessarily that that's the date it's going to launch on Xbox.
Sometime.
So that's when the exclusivity deal ends. So sometime after September 14th.
That's when Microsoft will start promoting the game, or start allowing Bethesda to promote the game.
It'll be on Game Pass day and date, and Jordan will give us his impressions.
I mean, I imagine the same thing's going to happen with Ghostwire also when that comes out in 2022. The Xbox version will come out in 2023. So
probably.
Hey, Game Pass. See it then.
Number 4. This comes from Push Square. After E3 2021 no-show, Sony seemingly skipping Gamescom as well.
Some people are upset about this.
Yeah, it's one of those things where people just want Sony to be a part of the zeitgeist, even though they don't need to. They're a part of their own zeitgeist, but it's one of those things where you want the team that you root for. I mean, this is all in quotes, guys. You want them to also say some stuff when other people are saying stuff because you want to have something to compare to.
Yes.
So I can see people being angry, but then again, it's kind of like, rumors suggest that Sony's doing a state of play in August, and there will be a God of War Ragnarok trailer there, and as well as a Horizon Forbidden West trailer as well.
Update. Hopefully,
update. So yeah,
they know when that game comes out this fall too. That'd be good.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
So in my notes, I kind of put I think there might be a PS experience coming back, maybe late this year. But the more I say it out loud, the less I believe it. I think we might get an August thing, and then we might see something at Game Awards versus them doing a PS experience. I just don't.
It just depends on what the PS experience is. If we're
Yeah.
getting a Sony focused convention, then I doubt we see anything because we're gonna there's that's not the focus of what that is. It is a community event to celebrate PlayStation.
Right.
If PS experience is, I think we've already talked. There's a podcast where we already talked about this in greater detail. I don't. If they're doing something in August, which is I don't think we see anything in December. Yeah, in December.
Yeah.
Anything we see will be at Game Awards.
Right. That's where my head kind of landed after the whole August thing. If that actually happens, although I feel like it's going to happen. I just feel like it's going to happen.
What, a PlayStation experience is going to happen?
No. State of play in August.
Okay.
Yeah. The number
Netflix.
Yeah. So I skipped 5 because 5 was the God of War Ragnarok trailer rumored to be a place or state of play, whatever. Number 6 comes from IGN. Netflix eyes video games after hiring ex-EA and Facebook executive to lead game development. So, just take a pin on this, and I'm going to add the other Netflix thing, which is that this is also from IGN. Netflix data mine could suggest a partnership with PlayStation.
I don't even know how that would work.
There are two trains of thought to this. We're getting the sort of Minecraft story mode thing where they're just going to take PlayStation games, rip the gameplay out, and put them on Netflix to stream as full videos, as animated movies, which is a thing that could happen because that's what Minecraft story mode was. On console, it is an actual Telltale game with mechanical choices and everything. But if you play it on Netflix, it's just like their Bandersnatch thing with a choose your own venture. Yeah. Or, which is the more interesting thing, this is Sony making a partnership via their PlayStation Now and Gaikai systems with Netflix and using Netflix's infrastructure to stream PlayStation games, which instantly makes PlayStation Now from we have a successful amount of numbers for what we're doing to we now have the biggest streaming platform on the planet.
Yeah. We have the biggest streaming audience.
I can see that.
Are you suggesting that they use Netflix infrastructure or their audience base?
If they're using their infrastructure, they're getting their audience.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Well, because what Sony was trying to partner with Microsoft and their Azure system. Netflix. Can we confirm that Netflix has their own own streaming?
They use Amazon Web Services, don't they?
Yeah, I don't think Netflix is a streaming provider. I think they use other people's streaming. There are ways this partnership will help, boost quote unquote PS Now's popularity or integrate those two audiences, right? The PS Now audience and the Netflix audience. Mm-hmm. But when you say leveraging Netflix's infrastructure, I have to see what that means.
Netflix is using AWS.
Yeah, they're using Amazon Web Services.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I will even say that the whole PS Now angle, I didn't even think about that because I just don't think about PS Now that much. But
we've had this conversation. It's
yeah. I think that's actually a really good idea for them to do that, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's what I have in mind.
I have no skin in this race because I don't have Netflix and I don't give a shit about game streaming. But to that point, it's the smart decision to if their idea is to compete. If their idea is to make a streaming service that competes, this is the smart play to make. Because no matter what the competition starts to do, they instead of competing with Sony anymore, they're now competing with Netflix.
Right.
Yeah.
Netflix. Netflix is capital wise wouldn't match up with the other game streamers, but in terms of overall reach, it would match up because they'd be competing with Amazon and Google. who have their streaming and subscription services.
But I mean, it's not anything close to Netflix's though.
Oh no, not at all.
Right. Okay.
Netflix at this point has become a utility for as bad as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my before we jump to the next thing, or before we jump to my thing, my rant, yes. How would that look subscription wise though? Because this is I would imagine if we are going down the path of PlayStation doing a streaming thing with Netflix as a base or whatever, like that's a separate entity from Netflix and PlayStation.
It's not like PlayStation or Netflix are buying each other. It would be a strategic partnership.
Yeah.
Combining both of their
yeah
subscription services may be
there are
different.
There are two schools of thought to this. There is Netflix finally gets a chance to raise their subscription service.
Yeah,
and to like either that or they tier it, which either were, or this is PlayStation taking a bath on streaming for just for the numbers. So Netflix doesn't see an increase, but it's clearly PlayStation paying them or something.
To maintain this partnership. To be a cost sharing, because unlike the competitors, they wouldn't have like a straight direct, like total revenue from each subscription going to PlayStation. There would be a cost sharing with Netflix.
Right. Okay.
And I think one of the things that makes this more interesting is like
revenue sharing.
Yeah, we were talking about Microsoft and Sony working together, and I think just for the Azure cloud servers. But to make a point about that, it's Microsoft, the computer company, and Sony, the entertainment brand, working together, not necessarily Xbox and PlayStation. And we were talking about entertainment brands. Netflix as a streaming service could then benefit from the Sony catalog of films if a deal like this is made.
Ooh,
100%.
That's a really good point.
Monster Hunter.
I'm talking about the Spider-Man films, right? I'm talking about the Spider-Man films.
That's true, yeah.
They're not on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right. Number 7. This comes from Polygon. Y'all just strap in real quick. I'm gonna vent a little bit. So about 2 episodes ago, 1 or 2 episodes ago, I there was a quick hit about Bandai Namco looking to put Gundam into the eSports lane and what they're gonna do. And I was like, all right, it'd be really cool if they use Battle Operations 2 because I think that has a very good team-based focus, and all they just need some love and polish in that game. That could be something they could put for esports, right? This week, we actually got their answer to the Gundam esports, and it's called Gundam Evolution. Gundam Evolution is a free-to-play first-person shooter. Yes, first-person shooter Gundam game.
Play it. It's free. Fuck it.
I will, before
it's PC. It's PC only. Sorry. Go ahead.
I won't play it.
Okay, so here's my thing. I remember hearing this news, seeing this trailer, and being like, this looks like. First of all, like I remember DJ getting hyped about this and being like, "It's a Gundam game." I like Gundam, but I don't like it like DJ does, where he seems to ignore everything around Gundam, just the idea of Gundam.
So you're not wrong.
I'm watching this trailer and I'm like, oh, this looks like Overwatch. I'm a giant Overwatch fan. This looks cool. Yeah, but I'm like, but then they kept showing off the mobile suits and I'm like, ugh. Once again, we're doing Universal Century. I don't give a shit about any of this. And then they showed off Gundam Barbatos, who playing a lot like Reinhardt, and I've said, I'm in. I'm 100% in. This is my favorite Gundam. He plays like a character I know how to play. Let's go.
I knew once I saw that I was like, okay, it's gonna be everything like this. Avery's gonna like this. So as Avery said, it right now with the character roster is about like maybe 10 to 12 mobile suits, and most of them are from Universal Century, like 0079 to like 0083 maybe, because it ends at Char's Counterattack, and then they skip ahead and they put Turna Gundam, which is the mustache Gundam that is probably the ugliest Gundam design ever in history. Don't know why they picked that one.
You're not wrong.
And then they put Barbatos Gundam, which is like the newest Gundam pretty much. I mean, if you're not looking at Hathaway, because those things are.
I don't count Hathaway because Hathaway, if Hathaway in the Universal Century,
Yeah.
Then I don't count it as a brand new mobile suit because it's still using the trappings of the Universal Century.
So here's no, I don't think it's in the Universal Century because the tech of the Gundam there, I think it's above, it's past that, but that's a different conversation.
Well,
so
we've gone off deep end on talking about Gundam, so this is a podcast about me and DJ talking about Gundam.
Yes.
Explanation:
Finally.
The Universal Century is the original continuity of the original Gundam series.
Yes.
So anything.
Go ahead.
So anything in the Universal Century takes place in the same universe with the RX-78 and Char. It's not and it's
Char.
Yeah, Char,
Zaku.
Char Zaku's and all that bullshit.
But it spans like in that whole like century or in that whole like time span. You have other suits, like you have the Gundam Alex, you have the Pale Rider stuff, you have Thunderbolt, you have a bunch of other stuff that kind of dots that whole timeline. But like from what we know, from what like the average person who knows Gundam, like they're thinking Gundam Wing. Gundam Wing is not in the Universal Century. That's after. But so yeah,
Thanks
this
for
Gundam
the history lesson, guys.
Oh, you're welcome. See,
as someone who's normally not on DJ's side about this, I take your sarcasm, your sharkasm, and I throw it in the trash. This is a conversation that needs to happen. With the amount of here's the thing. What's funny about that is that was my list coming out, me mispronouncing sarcasm and then saying
you definitely saying it. That was awesome. But yeah, so this game, it's because it's PC only. It's one of those things where and it's free to play. It basically being free to play is like, I guess I'll try it, but it irritates me that this was the route that they chose because this is very much so an Overwatch ripoff. Like, it's one of those things where I was watching the trailer, I was like, oh, this is WoW. And then going to the subreddit, the Gundam subreddit, people were just talking about like, what the hell is this? They just showed in the trailer a headshot for a mobile suit. And like, if you follow a mobile suit, like the headshot, the headshot, like, even if you watch the first Mobile Suit Gundam movie they put on Netflix, in the first 10 minutes, like, you see what happens when you take out the head of a mobile suit. Like, you just take out the main camera. The person is still able to fight. Like, you need to do a body shot. Like, that's a kill shot because that kills the pilot of the mobile suit. And it's just things like that. It's just like, you guys didn't even think about that?
Shows
like,
how much you know.
Right?
Apparently, when you do a headshot, it kills the Gundam. This kills
the bullet actually ricochets and goes straight down and kills the pilot too.
I'm gonna make a point that I've lost DJ at this point. Like, I was on his side, but they started talking about kill shot, body shot, and I'm like, this doesn't matter. It's a video game. Let's move on.
But there's a receiving hole for bullets in the head that redirects it to a receiving person in the body, thus killing the carrier.
You know what? The whole thing is in Japanese, so I definitely missed that explanation, Sean. Thank you. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, man, I really wish that they put a bit more effort. And I also wish that the suite of mobile suits they picked wasn't all Universal Century like that timeline. I wish they went further. I wish they grabbed more of the other like kind of crazier mobile suits just to like give more diversity. Like, we have a fucking gun tank in this thing.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, a
like
Gundam series, and it's a Gundam game, and because of the iconicness of the Zaku, I will give you putting a Zaku in this game as a playable character, whatever. But then the minute you get to gun tank and gun sniper, and I'm like, just put a fucking Gundam. You know how many sniper type Gundams they've created?
You're not wrong.
The Universal Century.
Not wrong. You're not wrong. And another thing, just a small detail. The thing that bothers me is that they have the original RX-78-2, whatever. Fine, but the Char mobile suit they put is the Sazabi, and that is so far down the line of the timeline that the RX-72 and Sazabi, they don't even interact. They don't interact with each other at all. Like, that's Amuro's new Gundam that fights the Sazabi. Like, put that one in there then. Like, Anyways, I've gone far enough down this rabbit hole. I'm pulling myself out. As you can tell, I'm not super excited about this one, and I will see. I'll be following it. I'll probably be playing it, or at least trying it, and see how it goes. And I'm pretty sure Avery will dip a toe in it as well.
Yeah.
With that being said, we can move on to the next quick hit, which is number 8. This comes from IGN. Persona is teasing 7 announcements for its July 25th anniversary. Cool. So basically, there will be several more announcements will follow over the next year, with the final one scheduled for autumn 2022. Cool. We'll see that when that happens. Number 9, this comes from PC Gamer. Battlefield 2042 will have crossplay between PC and consoles. I think, Jordan, were you excited about? Who was excited about this?
I think the majority of us were.
Yeah. Okay.
I just want the damn game to come out.
Well, wasn't there also? Yeah, you didn't say the whole thing. Crossplay and cross progression too. That's the true, but like money there. Like really, the games do that. Not even Destiny did that. It's been out for years now. Well, actually, that's a lie.
Now.
It's a lie.
It didn't
I totally transferred my PlayStation Progress to my Xbox. So
yeah.
That is true. But it is a rarity.
It is. It definitely is. Yeah.
Companies to do stuff like this. So I'm glad that EA's being nice.
Well, as I said in previous conversations, crossplay, whatever. It doesn't technically crossplay in the long haul will make you less money than if it was walled gardens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But cross progression opens that back up now in like, hey, I want to play this on Xbox. I bought it on PS4. Fuck it, I'll buy it on both, and I'll play it on whatever console I feel comfortable with. But more, it's probably going to be more like I buy this on my PC. I can't play my PC, but I have a PS4. I can play it on PS4 and keep pushing forward, which I'm excited for. I want more games to have cross progression, especially third-party titles.
Yeah, I might be buying this game twice.
Yeah.
After what Avery just said, I might be buying this game twice.
With that being said, we can jump to our heavy hitters. Number 1, Sean, take it away.
This is from PC Gamer. Steam Deck. Everything we know about Valve's new handheld gaming device. So, if you were under a rock, or maybe not under a rock, in the past
or a hard place,
yes, Valve announced a new handheld device. It looks like a Switch, but better specs. It's the Switch Pro that everyone wanted. Mm-hmm. But it's actually a portable PC, so you can plug it into a monitor or a TV, install app software. It runs Linux, apparently, or a version of Steam OS, but still Linux.
Like Steam's run off of Linux.
Yeah. You'll be able to play Windows games still, even though they don't have official Linux support, using Valve's compatibility tech called Proton, or even uninstall SteamOS and just straight up install Windows. It's
until we get like concrete like details on sort of like the OS and switching it in and out. The idea of switching out your OS for this software sounds like the easiest way to make a $600 brick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want to get too crazy with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's gonna come out the first quarter of 2022. Why are they doing this? The first version is going to be 64 gigabytes coming out in the first quarter of 2022. And then the second quarter, they're going to come out with a 256 gigabyte version. And in the third quarter, they're going to come out with a 512 gigabyte version. This is utterly...
I didn't realize it was staggered like that. That is
my only idea. It's staggered because of parts. Like the same reason it's hard for Nintendo to everyone to get parts. It's probably hard for them to get parts. So they're making the easiest and cheapest version and getting that out the door as quick as possible. And then when hopefully everything comes back to normal, they'll be able to, I don't want to say shit out the other ones, but that was what came out of my mouth.
Look at the price ranges of them.
Yeah, I got it. So the cheapest version is going to be $399, and that's going to use a eMMC, memory, embedded memory, what have you. Yeah. But the tour larger version is going to have a NVMe SSD storage, which is what is going to be in the you can update your PS5 with that, and I believe Xbox also has something similar going on.
Yeah, it's a better SSD. So essentially, from what I've heard, I think I was listening to Jeff Grubb, their cast. They were talking about it in depth in terms of the difference between the two hardware or hard drive formats. Like the
Yeah,
first one, the cheapest one is pretty much like what you see in the
it's a memory card. It's
yeah,
basically
like
an embedded
yeah,
memory stick.
exactly. Yeah. So like even the loading speeds are going to be very different between the two versions between the basic
That's
one
going
and
to
then
be
the
the
two
only
one.
difference is the storage, but I don't know why they're using the NVMe's because those get hot.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, it's strange, but it's gonna have an AMD Zen 2, which is also in the Xbox and the PS5. Quad core processor, AMD RDNA 2, 8 GPU units, clock speed, 16 gigabytes RAM. It's a bunch of whatever.
It's a
7-inch
bunch of tech stuff.
touchscreen. Yeah, 1280 by 800 resolution screen, 60 frame, 60 hertz. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, USB Type C, blah blah blah. 40 is that 40 watts an hour battery?
No idea.
Ultimately, I don't know who this is for.
The question is for the team: are we interested?
I mean, I just buy shit just to be buying shit, but not really.
In a world I didn't spend money on a 2K PC at the beginning of the year, and this was a something cheaper, and I could dock it with a good monitor, yeah, I would be interested in it. But it's in the now that I have a 2K PC, I don't like portable gaming. This has no appeal to me.
Yeah, for me, this is a flex purchase. I mean, I'm already trying to look at at tablets for my for Game Pass and xCloud Game Pass streaming. Yeah, this. I mean, like this. I wonder what the
I mean, yeah, this would be good for Game Pass, I guess.
the bag for this, like to carry this around, because there are portable devices,
Well,
like there
it looks
there
like
are
it comes
storage.
with the case.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
I'm just not
if you
interested
get
in it.
if you get the 512 version, you get the scratch resistant screen, so you can just throw that joints anywhere you want and carry it around. You can throw it in your back pocket, in your underwear, you're good to go.
Anyway,
But
friend of the cast, listener Roy, asked me specifically, how do I feel about it? And aside from gaming, how do you think Nintendo is feeling now that they seemingly have handheld competition now?
you go first.
Nintendo has no handheld competition.
Yeah,
Just because
so
Steam came out with a better device hasn't ever meant shit to Nintendo.
the thing is, it's one of those things where Nintendo might not look at this as competition, but it is essentially vying for the portable spot.
They're not. They're not.
But
They're not.
it's one of those
It's in
things
a
where
completely different lane. They're not
It's in a-
touching
it's
Microsoft's financials whatsoever. Go ahead, Avery.
it's in a completely different lane now. But now they've set the foot out the door. They created a better alternative to the Switch that legitimately has more use case than the Switch.
you're right.
Something we were talking about off podcast beforehand is that in a world that they can get the price of this thing down by like $200 to $300, it becomes a more and more enticing product, especially when Nintendo continues to not use the Switch, continues to not use their allow their games to get to their I guess max potential. Like
Hardware wise, right?
Hardware
Because they're
wise,
not.
like
Yeah.
certain games. When I always laugh when a PS4 title or now a PS5 title gets put on Switch. Yes, there are sliders that you can play, but you're playing such an inferior version of this console, like a game that unless the Switch is the only console you have, I can't fathom portability being why you would want to play a hamstring version of a game on Switch. But that's
Right.
just me, and I feel like if the Steam Deck works in the way it's intended, then there's going to be two versions of games that are going to get ported. One's going to be the PC version that's going to be able to at least run mid to high level internals on that game, and the one that's going to play on Switch and just not look great at all.
Well, they're also when it comes to portable gaming or like this new era of actually having this, not necessarily the same quality of games, but pretty damn close minus the latency, is the ability to have your saves across many different devices. And one part of this Steam Deck is, all right, well, now that Steam's getting into this, legacy save system, people will be able to, have their progress with whatever Steam game they're using and apply that to, their stationary home desktop. So people trying to get into that, and like that was one barrier that needs to be addressed when it comes to mobile game experiences nowadays.
On that point that Jordan just mentioned, that it's cross-buy. Because this is literally only a casing for Steam as an OS. Anything I buy on my PC, that if I want to fucking play Control at like ultra high settings, I can play Control ultra high settings and then immediately take my save and game, put it on this Steam Deck and play it at my leisure anywhere possible, which for me sounds better. It sounds like better value for for the Switch. That being said, why Nintendo's not worrying about this and why they won't worry about this is the price. It is what Jordan said earlier. It is a flex purchase. The only people who really are going to look at this and say, this is something I want, are people who literally spend all their time on PC.
I don't think it's just the price.
It's one of those things where I looked at this and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like I'm a person who loves like technology, and like this speaks to me in terms of it being a handheld where I can play PC stuff. And like I dabble in Steam here and there. Like a while back I was talking about playing the mass like robot game or whatever. Like that'd be a thing that I could transfer over to the Steam Deck. And then also me and my wife, we sometimes play Grounded. That's another thing I can do on there. But like right now, currently we're looking to buy another TV. So like that's where my money is going. And it's one of those things where it's just like I also can't really justify buying this handheld because I know most of my time is spent playing my PS5 anyways. So looking at this as a possible consumer of this product, it's kind of like there's more cons to me getting this thing than pros. But I also understand that I am not the dedicated Steam user who has a library of games that they've put money into. Like I can very much so see myself if this was a PlayStation product, if this was a Vita 2, I'd be like, oh yeah, absolutely, I'd buy this thing. It makes sense. I could transfer all of my games to this thing and all my saves as well. Perfect. Whereas I look at it as a person who is not on Steam, but I understand that there is a lot of people on Steam. So like I can see this thing being very, very valuable to them. In terms of comparing this to Nintendo, I think that's where it gets kind of weird because Nintendo and Steam are not the same thing and they don't position themselves as the same thing. So for them to be a competitor, it gets strange because people generally use Steam because it is people go to
They
Nintendo
just
for
use
their
Steam
first
because they're a
party.
PC gamer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
But like they
Nintendo has
also
their IPs.
Yeah.
right, they also might have the Epic Store, or they might also have like other stores where they play like specific games from those stores.
Which is the I think what separates this from another aspect of why Nintendo's not going to be worried about this is they have their long list of IPs that will drive their console, and it's one of the reasons people own Nintendo consoles. Like those IPs are the reason I own a Switch, even though I don't like playing on it. That being said, back to my original point about the audience for this is like if you live on Steam, if you just live on Steam and you have the money for a console, which let's be real, if you live on Steam, you are able to afford a 2K gaming rig or something from a 1K at least a 1K gaming rig that's able to play good games. If you can like afford that, I don't see much of a flex from I get this and then I can get this as a handheld, but that's only if you wow, I lost my train of thought. But that's only as the
I get
flex.
what you mean though. Yeah. Like you can definitely purchase this thing it is not necessary, but as you said, as Jordan was saying, it's a flex move.
Yeah.
But like, you could definitely just get it anyway.
Like literally, I'm all my Twitter, because I'm mainly attention to I guess spheres of Twitter. There's video game Twitter, and then there's
video game Twitter is spicy.
There's and Apex Twitter, like where I'm just following people who 20-year-old kids who all they do is play Apex. They don't own consoles. All they do is PC gaming. Like the idea of a console is like stupid to them. Who wants to play a game at 60 FPS? You must be out of your goddamn mind. It's insane. Like it's insane to watch someone like play a game and like the minute their FPS drops to 60, they're like, holy shit, I can't play this game. It's awful. And I'm like, wow. But
spoiled ass kids.
But the amount
beat that dude ass with a stick.
But the amount of them who are like, yo, this is awesome. I might get this. Says to me that
there's an audience for it.
There's an audience for that, for the people who live on Steam.
Right.
This ain't for the casual consumer, and that's why Nintendo will never be worried. The minute that you have to touch any type of drivers or update anything,
I didn't consider that.
Yeah. Good point.
Nintendo isn't worried in the least.
Speaking
and then one more thing, and then if this goes the way of the Steam box, then it's a GG's on that. We'll see. We'll see how.
I'll pick it up on sale.
We'll see how Valve.
I'm hearing audio.
I would hope so.
Anybody else hear audio?
That's on your side.
No, I'm not hearing it.
Oh, that's this fucking ESPN thing. Fucking.
You open up Windows when you're playing.
Yeah.
Keep going, Avery.
Yeah. Keep going.
If we'll see what Valve's long-term plans with this console are for the next couple of years, because I remember Steambox with them being like, let's partner with a bunch of PC manufacturers and let them make individual Steam boxes for us instead of just making instead of them supporting an actual box for their software. This seems to be like them actually doing the thing. But after Steambox, I want to see what their long-term plans with this, because this could easily be something like they do put money in dev stuff into there and move on because they don't necessarily need the space.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. We'll see who supports it and how far this tail of this Steam Deck goes. But to wrap up the podcast, we got one last heavy hitter, and that is the Nickelodeon, because I nailed it. They put out their All-Stars Brawler game. They put out a trailer for it. And in this game, it is basically Super Smash Nintendo. Jesus, I said Nintendo again. Super Smash Nickelodeon character stuff, right? So you got a bunch of characters from their
animated cartoon portfolio.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. So the list goes: Helga from Hey Arnold, Danny Phantom from Danny Phantom, Sandy Cheeks from Not a Porn, SpongeBob SquarePants, Zim from Invader Zim, Nigel Thornberry from the Wild Thornberries, Michelangelo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Leonardo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Man, I can't believe they don't have Donatello on here. How dare they? SpongeBob SquarePants. They better.
We'll see.
SpongeBob SquarePants from SpongeBob SquarePants. Patrick Star from SpongeBob SquarePants. Reptar from Rugrats. Lincoln Loud from The Loud House. I thought that was a drug thing. Lucy Loud from The Loud House. Oblina from All Real Monsters, and then Powder Toast Man from Ren and Stimpy. So this trailer, at least for me, came out of nowhere. I was like, "Oh my god, nostalgia's hit me from left and right. This is crazy." Up until Loud House, I'm too old for Loud House.
It's a more recent Nickelodeon show.
Right.
I think out of all these, Powder Toast Man is possibly one of the most dangerous ones in terms of exposing children to Ren and Stimpy.
I mean,
because that character is very problematic.
You ride in his butt cheeks while he flies backwards. I mean, come on.
Yep.
So yes, I think it's not as spicy as it used to be, based with just general media now, and
right. They have to go into some deep YouTube investigation to find.
Well, it is spicy, but it's spicy in a different direction. Back in the day, it was all about like making adult jokes and raunchiness. Now it's being inclusive and exploring themes that people didn't touch because of problematic individuals.
That's a good position on it. Yeah. So
like there are multiple cartoons in the Disney Channel with, I'm guessing, LGBT protagonists as cartoons. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like recently, Phil Mill's mother, they just completely retconned her to give her, and for her to be in a same-sex relationship.
For who?
Phil and Lil.
Phil and Lil and Rugrats.
Rugrats.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
Or exclusivity, yeah.
I was looking up Powder Toast Man because I forgot a
You
lot about
didn't
that
remember.
character. Yeah, and yeah, that's gonna be interesting. So this is the character roster that they put forth. Shauna mentioned in our chat, we were talking and such, and I was like, oh my god, where is the rest of the Nickelodeon characters? Where is Angry Beavers? Where is
Well, they're learning from Nintendo, and it's easier. It's like they could release the roster, everything right now, and we'd be like, oh snap, this is amazing. Or they can release character by character over its marketing thing
Until it releases. Yeah.
Until it releases, it gets more hyped and more hyped and more hyped.
Right.
And then show like the season 1 roadmap with the silhouettes.
Well, let's not get too far. This is a AA game from a not really high budget studio, so
that's the other side to it.
Which is like, I'm not expecting much from this.
Don't worry, it's gonna be at Evo. It's gonna be at Evo. They're gonna announce it. It's gonna be like this. People are gonna boo the Reptar stands when they come up on it. Like, boo, you fucking suck, bro.
I will say the Reptar as the Rugrats representation is the most inspired idea.
Yeah. I definitely, when I saw it, I was like, oh my god, that's so awesome, because don't put babies in this. But so what I wanted to position is looking at this list, and I think Sean mentioned that in the actual game art there is silhouettes of other characters, and one of them might be Korra from Avatar. How would you guys think about like 2 or 3 characters you want to add to this? Like you'd like for them you would want to see in the actual brawler. I'll go first because, as I said earlier, Angry Beavers. Angry Beavers are awesome. If you don't know about it, then I feel sorry for your childhood because they were great. They should definitely be in both of them. They should be in them together, and they should work like ice climbers.
No, if someone's gonna work like ice climbers, I think it should be Cat Dog.
I got one. I got one for y'all. Snap from Chalk Zone.
Yeah. He should play like
all the the black
Game
stick.
Mr. Game Watch.
Oh, yeah, I like that actually. I like that. And then a lot of people say the Fairly Odd Parents, they should be in here.
The Crimson Chin. Like
the
big thing about this, one thing about Smash Brothers up until I want to say Ling, the arms representation in that game. Every time a game got representation, the main character of that game was the representation for that game.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But this game immediately throws it out the window by having Reptar and Powder Toast Man here as representation for certain games. So the gamut is open for what they can fucking touch. There's no limitations right here. And so if instead of getting Cosmo, Wanda, or Timmy, Crimson Chin, let's go.
Oh, they need to get what is it? Underwear Man from Doug.
Quail Man.
That's
they don't own Doug anymore. They don't own Doug anymore. Disney does.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
Let me take you down memory lane.
Right.
Ben Ernst from Hey Dude.
Ooh. Okay. Let me.
You have no idea what the fuck that is, do you?
Oh no. I know Hey Dude. I just don't remember. And Hurts.
No, that's one of the main characters from Hey Dude on Nickelodeon. I'm just throwing out stupid shit.
That's good. I like that.
I think if we're talking about some Jimmy Neutron representation, you should put Goddard in there. You should play like what's his face? That Duck Hunt dog.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay.
Cameron Goddard.
Oh, they should do Rocco's Modern Life and just put Rocco in it.
He should play like Villager.
Oh, yes.
Here's the thing. Another problem this game is going to have is just the Smash Brothers of it, like the Smash Brothers of it all. Like in my head, I'm only picking characters where I know this character can play like a certain
one for one.
For one.
But again, though, like I don't think that's a problem. Like, if you're going to release a brawler, do what Sony should have done and just make it like Smash Brothers. That's what we know and that's what people love. So just do that and just if you have like gameplay tweaks here and there that you think you could do better than Smash Brothers, try it out, see if it works. But like don't try to stray too far away from what Smash Brothers have nailed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was PlayStation All-Stars issue. They tried
Exactly.
And at that point, PlayStation's bench wasn't deep enough that they could rely on their own talent without going to without making weird third-party choices.
Yeah.
Like
we also have
we can't get Snake, so we're going to put Raiden in here. Okay, we can't. We can't get Dante from Devil May Cry, so let's get Dino from DMC.
You also have Rocket Power.
Show that they used to have.
Ooh, Rocket! Oh my God, Rocket Power!
Bro. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We should put as told by Ginger in the game.
As told by Ginger.
Yo,
well, her sewer would be like very depressing, I guess. I love that show though.
They could do the Powerpuff Girls, but as Pokemon.
They can't. Powerpuff is Cartoon Network.
It's Cartoon
Network. Oh, that is Cartoon. Shit, that's right.
Actually, to be honest, Cartoon Network might have.
Cartoon Network, as great as Nickelodeon.
We see comparison 1v1. Like Cartoon Network, they got a spot over there.
Yeah, like I said, absolutely. Cartoon, like as great as Nickelodeon is, like repertoire is. If this was a Cartoon Network style game and actually one they put like actual resources in, because they made games like this before in the past, it would knock this shit out of the water.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
My Life as a Teenage Robot.
Yeah, she played like Mega Man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, you know what?
Alex Mack.
Alex Mack. Oh shit.
If you
real quick. My Life as a Teenage Robot. That was something that was thrown around and I completely forgot like what that was. Just until now when Avery said it should play like Mega Man, I instantly remembered what that was.
Yeah, like 3 seasons of the damn thing.
Yeah. So Alex Mack, yes. Oh my gosh. Alex Mack needs to play as Glacier from Killer Instinct. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
All right, y'all. Let's not
Yeah. So this obviously has a lot of potential. It's one of those things where I'm just gonna wait and see how it goes. I definitely would definitely be interested in playing it, but it's one of those things where if the game itself is crap, then it's kind of just a disappointment, and you know I'm not willing to spend money.
My expectations are at like if this is if the ceiling is above my head, my expectations are like around my chin right now. Where it's like this doesn't work
for the video listeners, because
for the video listeners, that's a great diagram. But for the audio listeners, I apologize. But all I'm saying is that like I'm waiting to be impressed. I'm like, this is a great idea and exciting for my nostalgia, but like nothing about any part of this game, like it's like inspires me to be like, oh man, this is gonna be the greatest thing in the world.
I'm pretty much there. I just hope that they release a demo. On top of that, I did read somewhere that they are going to put wave dashing in this game. So from that standpoint, it made me think, okay, these guys are actually kind of targeting a specific demographic when it comes to brawler games and people who like Melee and wanted Nintendo to keep Melee like techniques and stuff in going forward, but they didn't. Anyways, to me that kind of felt like, all right, it seems like you guys are going to put like some kind of effort to it, but I really, really hope they put out a demo first, because I need to play the game first to know, okay, like these guys are really doing something magical here, and I'll support that. So I just hope they do a demo, or if it's on Game Pass.
Sounds good, DJ. Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Well, that has been the episode for today. We hope you enjoyed the episode as much as you enjoyed making it. Don't forget to rate and review on your favorite podcasting app. Also, go to our YouTube page, like, subscribe, share, donate. I don't know. Do whatever you want to do. Comment. That's the one. Comment. Yeah. In case you missed any of this, you can find all details and more on our website at pressx2start.com. until next time, the next thing you will see from us is our Loki review. Actually, you'll see that probably before this episode. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Until then, you guys stay safe, wash your hands, and take care.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.